Have you ever felt completely absorbed in an activity? Perhaps it was playing an instrument, engaging in a sport, or even having a deep conversation. In these moments, time seems to melt away. Your actions feel natural and spontaneous, without any sense of struggle or conscious effort. This state of being, where you perform at your best with a sense of ease, is a familiar human experience. It is a feeling of being in the zone. Ancient Chinese philosophers had a specific name for this state of peak performance and effortless flow. They called it Wu Wei. It is a concept that seems paradoxical at first glance, suggesting a way of achieving great things by not striving for them directly. Wu Wei translates literally as non-action or non-doing. However, this translation can be misleading. It does not mean being lazy or passive, or practicing non-involvement and isolation. Instead, Wu Wei describes a unique quality of action. It is about acting in harmony with the natural flow of things, like a boatman steering his vessel skillfully along a river's current, rather than trying to row against it. This approach avoids unnecessary resistance and internal conflict. It is a sophisticated way of navigating life's challenges with intelligence, grace, and minimal wasted energy, finding the path of least resistance to achieve your goals effectively. This profound idea is a cornerstone of Taoism, one of China's most influential philosophical traditions. Taoism encourages living in alignment with the Tao, the natural underlying order of the universe. Wu Wei is the practical method for achieving this alignment. It is the art of letting go of the need to control every outcome. It involves trusting your intuition and responding to situations as they unfold, rather than forcing them to fit your preconceived plans. It is about recognizing when to act and when to refrain from acting, a subtle skill that requires observation and patience rather than brute force and constant exertion. Understanding Wu Wei offers a powerful alternative to our modern culture's relentless emphasis on hustling and striving. We are often taught that success requires constant effort, struggle, and forceful determination. Wu Wei presents a different path. It suggests that true effectiveness comes not from fighting against the world, but from moving with it. It's a philosophy that values softness over hardness, flexibility over rigidity, and yielding over asserting. By exploring this ancient concept, we can discover a more balanced and sustainable way of living and working, one that can lead to greater peace and accomplishment. Wu Wei, often translated as non-action, is not about idleness or passivity. Instead, it means acting in harmony with nature, effortlessly without force or struggle. Like a Tai Chi master or a potter, actions flow naturally, with minimal effort and maximum effect. Wu Wei is about doing the right thing at the right time, in the right way, achieving more by striving less. It's the art of effortless action, like water flowing downhill, natural, spontaneous, and profoundly effective. Wu Wei is a core Taoist concept and teaches that the Tao, the Wei, is the inherent rhythm of the cosmos. Instead of forcing outcomes, Taoists seek harmony with it and with nature, like trees growing or rivers flowing. By quieting the striving mind, one aligns with the Tao, acting with power and ease. Wu Wei is a return to simplicity, trusting intuition, and letting life unfold naturally, without resistance. This theme of effortless action is central to Taoism's ancient texts. The Tao Te Ching, attributed to Lao Tzu, teaches that the Tao never does anything, yet through it, all things are done. The Zhuangzi, another classic, uses stories of skilled artisans to showcase mastery through intuition and harmony with nature. Wu Wei means moving with the natural flow, not forcing but achieving with ease. While Wu Wei sprang from Taoism, which developed between the 4th and 6th centuries BCE, it quickly spread beyond its seedbed. During the Hundred Schools of Thought, philosophers from all traditions debated and adapted Wu Wei, seeing its value in governance and personal conduct. Rulers admired its promise of harmony with minimal intervention, while scholars saw the appeal of effortless, intuitive action. Even those who rejected Taoist metaphysics recognized the wisdom in reducing forceful control, embracing a more responsive yet measured leadership style. Just consider the dynastic policy, maintained over centuries, of not invading the steppes to the north to attack aggressive horse tribes, but instead building a defensive wall. A great wall which flowed with the mountains, using impassable ranges as part of its organically evolving barrier, at times plunging in and out of deadly ravines and deep lakes. Thus Wu Wei exerted wide, subtle influence, becoming a shared term, its meaning shifting across contexts, but ever central to Chinese thought, its adaptability a cornerstone of debates on power, order, the art of living. Wu Wei's journey from Taoist hermits to the courts of ancient China shows how a single idea can shape an entire civilization. Confucianism, with its focus on ritual and hierarchy, seems at odds with Taoist Wu Wei. Yet Confucians reimagined Wu Wei as the effortless action of a morally perfected person. Through years of self-cultivation, a sage internalizes virtue so deeply that right action flows naturally, without struggle. The Analects praise Emperor Shun, who ruled by simply embodying virtue. His presence alone inspired order. For Confucians, Wu Wei was not withdrawal but the highest form of social grace, leading by example, not force. The Taoist seeks to be uncarved wood. The Confucian, a perfectly carved jade. Both reach effortless action but by different paths. This reinterpretation shows Wu Wei's flexibility and its appeal across visions of the ideal life. It became a bridge between spontaneity and cultivated virtue. Legalism, in stark contrast, rejected Wu Wei entirely. Legalists like Han Fei saw people as selfish and believed only strict laws and harsh punishments could ensure order. They dismissed the idea of minimal intervention as naive, insisting on constant forceful control. Wei over Wu Wei. The Qin dynasty's legalist rule unified China but relied on relentless authority, suppressing freedom and spontaneity. This approach brought short-term stability but quickly collapsed, a warning against ignoring the wisdom of restraint. Legalism's failure highlighted the dangers of excessive control and the enduring value of Wu Wei. The debate between force and non-action became central to Chinese political thought. After the Qin's fall, the Han dynasty sought a middle path, blending Confucian order with Taoist Wu Wei. Officially Confucian, Han rulers quietly practiced Taoist non-interference, allowing the economy and society to flourish with minimal meddling. This synthesis, known as Huanglao, balanced moral structure with pragmatic restraint. The result was a flexible, resilient government. Confucian on the outside, Taoist within. Wu Wei became a practical tool, not just an ideal, shaping centuries of governance. Dynasties shifted between active control and passive guidance, but Wu Wei remained a vital concept. The ongoing tension between action and inaction defined Chinese statecraft. Wu Wei's legacy, knowing when to act and when to let things unfold. Wu Wei shaped the ideal of the sage ruler, one who governs through subtlety, not force. The Tao Te Ching describes such a leader as barely noticed by the people, yet their influence brings harmony and prosperity. The sage ruler trusts the natural order, intervening only to remove obstacles, not to micromanage. By reducing taxes, simplifying laws, and avoiding needless wars, they create conditions for organic growth. This leadership demands wisdom, patience, and the humility to step back. Though rarely achieved, the sage ruler became a timeless model, reminding rulers that true power often lies in restraint. Scholars invoke this ideal to caution against tyranny and overreach. Wu Wei's political vision: the most effective rule is often the gentlest. Wu Wei wasn't just theory, it shaped real policy in China's golden ages. Early Han emperors, scarred by the Qin emperor's excesses, adopted light-touch governance inspired by Taoism. They reduced taxes, eased laws, and let the economy recover, ushering in peace and prosperity. The rules of Emperor Wen and his son Jing became models for wise, non-intrusive leadership. Later, the Tang dynasty, especially under Taizong, echoed these principles: low taxes, lenient justice, and a focus on the people's well-being. These eras proved that strength comes from enabling, not oppressing the populace. Rulers acted as gardeners, tending, not forcing growth. Wu Wei's success in practice cemented its place at the heart of Chinese statecraft. Throughout Chinese history, dynasties ignoring Wu Wei, the Qin and Sui, relied on forceful rule and massive projects. Their iron fists unified China, but bred exhaustion and resentment. When their rulers died, rebellion quickly followed, and their empires collapsed. These stories became warnings. Pure force cannot sustain a dynasty. Ignoring Wu Wei leads to ruin. In traditional Chinese martial arts, the principle of yielding brings Wu Wei to life. Rather than meeting force with force, practitioners absorb and redirect energy, like water flowing around rock. This allows a smaller person to overcome a stronger one, not through brute strength, but by harmonizing with the opponent's movement. True mastery is not domination, but effortless alignment, winning by not fighting, and turning the opponent's strength into their own weakness. To embody Wu Wei, a martial artist must cultivate Wuxin, no mind. Influenced by both Taoism and Zen, this state quiets the analytical mind, leaving no room for fear or ego. The mind becomes like a polished mirror, reflecting reality without judgment, allowing for spontaneous, instinctive action. Through training and meditation, movements flow naturally, free from hesitation. This is the essence of Wu Wei, a perfect union of intention and effortless execution. Tai Chi and Aikido are martial arts deeply rooted in the principle of Wu Wei, effortless action. Tai Chi's slow-flowing movements cultivate calm, balance, and the art of yielding to overcome force. Aikido, the way of harmonizing with energy, teaches blending with an attack using circular movements to neutralize aggression. Both arts embody Wu Wei, achieving harmony and victory through softness, balance, and non-contention. In our modern world, work often means pressure and constant striving. We're told to hustle, multitask, and push through, but this can lead to burnout. The principle of Wu Wei offers a refreshing alternative, working with the flow, not against it. By focusing on one task at a time and eliminating distractions, we enter a state of flow. Work becomes smoother and more enjoyable. Embracing Wu Wei, our work becomes less of a struggle and more of a dance. Wu Wei offers profound benefits for our personal well-being, helping us navigate relationships, hobbies, and our inner world with greater ease. In relationships, Wu Wei teaches us to let go of control and allow connections to unfold naturally. At work, progress comes when effort gives way to effortless mastery. Internally, Wu Wei means observing thoughts and emotions without judgment, fostering peace. By embracing Wu Wei in daily moments, we cultivate calm, balance, and fulfillment. But how do we embrace it? Wu Wei, by its very nature, isn't something we can will ourselves to do. Its essence is the opposite of striving, and springs from recognition. These practical pointers may help you trigger a glide with effortless action. First, in all that you do, let yourself focus more on the journey, less on the end goal alone. Second, let go perfectionism and embrace imperfection as a mindful concession to ultimate reality. Don't indulge frustration. Rather, just let some beautiful messes be. Third, trust in the process and let things unfold at their own pace, choosing to calmly remind yourself that actually, most things are beyond control, and that's not a crisis, it's life. Wu Wei, the Taoist art of effortless action, has guided sages, warriors, and everyday people for centuries. Remember, it's not passivity, but a way of moving with life's natural flow, changing the things we can change, accepting the things we can't, and growing wise enough to discern the difference. Like water shaping stone, Wu Wei teaches us to act with gentle strength and quiet confidence. By letting go of rigid control, we can both experience more personal freedom and cultivate greater resilience. In work, relationships, and daily life, Wu Wei invites us to live with more flow and less struggle. Have you read the Tao Te Ching? Have you experienced Wu Wei phases? Please gift us with your tips and insights in the comments section. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to help others flow. Into Life Class. Wu Wei was central to the philosophy of Taoism, yet it seamlessly merged with and enhanced other ancient Chinese systems of thought. Confucianism, for example, which you can explore in episode 19.